Hi guys, welcome to our next Minecraft Let's Play, episode 273, where we do nothing except overreact to pigs again. I'm Jason Hennig, not your host, and this is Christianity and Pop Culture, the show where we take pop culture and dissect it, chopping it into teeny tiny little pieces and extracting the nuggets of Christianity from them. Before I start, I'm going to toss out a little warning. This video contains images that some viewers may find disturbing. You may find the footage scary or jarring, so if you're under the age of 13 or easily disturbed by blood or scary images, I would recommend you turn off this video. We'll be talking about a game rated M for violence and blood. That being said, the footage will be heavily edited, and unless you're particularly queasy or a child, you should be fine. You probably already know what the game we're talking about today is, unless you just click on our videos without reading the titles because you just love us and trust us so much, in which case, aw, thanks. But except in those rare cases, you probably saw Bloodborne in the title. Bloodborne is a rated M game, so technically I can't condone you playing it unless you're over 18, even though I know a bunch of you who aren't 18 did it anyway. If you're a good little kid or Gothic horror just isn't your scene, here's the rundown. You play as a hunter, a supernaturally enhanced warrior with a transforming melee weapon and a gun in the dream world city of Yharnam, where you fight off the beasts of the night, and through your efforts, get one of two endings, which we actually won't spoil for you for once. Wait. Really? We aren't spoiling anything? Seriously? Yeah, so prepare for pretty much no spoilers. I say pretty much because we will be talking about some of the crucial institutions of Yharnam and some other story elements of the game. This is a pretty bleak take on humanity, even for a Gothic horror storyline, and it can be a little uncomfortable in its take on Christianity. You have been warned. So let's start from the beginning. The architecture of Bloodborne is modeled explicitly on the Gothic revival architecture of the 18th and 19th centuries. As you can see, it's sweeping and beautiful, but also very imposing. Gothic architecture was designed to make the beholder feel very small, as if in the presence of God himself. Additionally, the statues also follow religious symbolism throughout the game. At the beginning of the game, they are sorrowful and penitent, weeping or offering candles upward in a sign of sacrifice. But as the game goes on, they become more and more figures of Dante's Inferno, souls draped one over the other in a struggle to escape endless torment to no avail. Hey, I said the game was dark. Anyway, there's also giant headless crosses propped up around Yharnam. This one's a little gruesome, you've been warned. What you're looking at, or avoiding looking at, are people or beasts strung up to these crosses and burned, much like what happened during the witch hunts of the Middle Ages. The obvious equivalency of the Catholic Church in Bloodborne is the Healing Church. Did you see the cathedral? Victoria, pull up the cathedral. Yeah, that one. Zoom in. In. See it? Cathedral? Yeah. Anyway, the church engages in the hunt in a medical capacity. By studying the beasts of the nightmare, they can learn how to heal their infections and the wounds they inflict. Additionally, the game tells a cautionary tale of zealotry and devotion. There are a few clergy that you can meet at various points in the game, all of which want to help you or have since gone completely insane. However, most of the church views itself as apart from or above the problems of Yharnam. They also undertake the various sacraments of blood. Their zealotry tends to cause them to prefer judgment to mercy, which is a criticism of the real-life church's tendency to do the same. Now, anyway, let's go back to those sacraments. The first and most important sacrament of the Healing Church is Holy Communion, in which a person communes with the gods by consuming the old blood. Sound familiar? It's a fairly thinly veiled parallel with actual communion. There doesn't seem to be much of a commentary on this specifically in the game. The church is still to some degree the good guys, and such a ritual is still at its core a good thing. Don't take it from me, it's the thing Vicar Amelia says will save her before she turns into a super monster.
Let us partake in communion and feast upon the old blood. Our thirst for blood satiates us, soothes our fears. Seek the old blood.
The blood, however, has other sacramental properties in the Healing Church. One of these is the power of blood ministration, or blood healing. This property is the ability to perform a miracle by communing with particular blood. The blood of a nun named Adela, for instance, is holy and grants great bonuses. The blood of other virtuous characters can be used for the same purpose. The miracle of healing is probably hearkening to the miracles of the apostles and Christ, as their power to heal is pretty explicitly stated in the Bible. If you couldn't tell so far, much like in Christianity where the blood of Christ is holy, the blood of holy people in Yharnam is beneficial. However, this is not the only direct Christ parallel in the game. There exist holy grails, which, similar to the cup of Christ, are cups which have been partaken of by the gods. In other words, just like Jesus sipped from a normal cup to make it the Holy Grail, these cups were drank from by the Elder Ones of Yharnam, which makes their sacred properties incredibly powerful. Additionally, one of the weapons certain enemies can use is a big cross. I'm serious. Look. There are a lot of other religious items in the game, but we'll keep it simple and just throw out one more. There's a spray bottle full of holy water. I'm not actually joking. It even sings. Like, look at this. The biggest, most important thing in the game is that humanity's just... People are the worst. Ultimately, somewhere along our path of striving for holiness, we forget what it means to be holy and good and become a monster. The path to hell is paved with good intentions, as they say. Although you meet many kind people throughout the storyline, and some of them are even affiliated with the church, the longer the game goes on, the more you begin to realize that we're the real monsters. The humans are monsters, and the monsters, in a way, are human. Other hunters are a much bigger threat than the beasts that wander the streets. The game reminds us that it's important to remember that we are fundamentally human, and even achieving greater heights is tempered with the limits of human sin. Basically, we're the product of wrongdoing, and there's no way to bring ourselves out of that muck on our own. We are still bound by right and wrong. It actually has a very similar ring to the phrase, faith without works is dead. Devotion to the gods is useless without the kindness that makes us hunter, moreover human, not monster. It's a really complex and deep topic that it delves into, but it basically boils down to the truth that humans are easily swayed to be more monster than human. So what does all this mean? The game ends up throwing some pretty profound ideas around, and where does it stand on the Christian radar? The biggest criticism of the actual church in the game, the tendency to judge before helping, is a valid and fair one. It's easy to look at yourself as morally superior than someone outside. Obviously, the existence of multiple gods and the fact that these gods are at least partly insidious is a big cutaway from the Christian good God. The depravity of humanity also definitely aligns with what the Bible has to say. And on top of that, the game also plays with the idea of faith and works being inseparable. Not too shabby for a game that's often seen as degrading the church. Alright, see you around, kiddos. Wait, no kiddos this time. Let me redo that line. This time, weapons.